Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of KREM 2 News at 6:30. I'm Whitney Ward.
And I'm Mark Hanrahan. Sports Director Brenna Green joining us now to celebrate Eastern grad, now Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp.
What a journey for Cooper Kupp, guys. Tonight we are sharing some parts of that journey that you might not know about, and it started right here in Washington. Eastern Washington is celebrating Kupp's big win with this billboard for the NFL champ, and today the Eastern Washington football team celebrated Cooper in a way one of his coaches said he would have wanted to be celebrated with a 5 a.m. practice.
Ouch.
Yeah.
We love it.
Thanks,
Now,
Coop.
yeah, that's so great. Now, part of being Super Bowl MVP is that you have to have a press conference the next day after the game to officially accept the hardware. Cooper Kupp and his head coach, Sean McVay, spoke bright and early this morning at 9 a.m.
Wow.
Yep, which McVay himself said was torturous, and I have to agree. The duo got through it, though, and had some great things to say, no matter how little sleep they were on.
It's the cliche thing you say, but I'm better as a coach and as a person for being around Cooper Kupp, and that's just the truth.
Eastern Washington alum Cooper Kupp is now a household name. That's also just the truth. If you know him at all, though, you know that that was never the goal, just a side effect of what motivated him to get here.
My faith, that's, the most important thing in my life. Believing that, I have a purpose here, that I was placed with a intentionality of exactly where I'm supposed to be. It just gives me a peace. It gives me so much peace being able to play from a place of knowing that the victory's already been won. There's no pressure to, strive to succeed on anything. I get to, just step into every single day and just enjoy the process.
That wasn't just internalized for Coop this season. Even his head coach noticed a shift.
He's always been this way, but this year especially, there was a stillness, there was a peace, and there was a joy that he was playing with, where he's got a purpose with Anna and his 2 boys, and his relationship and trust in the Lord, and how that really can guide a steady path. And he's made such an impact on me. Guys like Cooper Kupp are why you coach. I just feel so blessed to be around somebody as special as him.
The wide receiver's patient approach came in especially handy on Sunday, as Cooper only caught 1 pass in the entire second half until the Rams' final drive. In that drive, Cooper caught 5 passes, drew 2 Bengals pass interference penalties, and secured the game-winning touchdown.
Keep pushing, keep, trusting in the details of things, and, I believe that, regardless of whether the ball is coming to you or not, you can have an impact on the game, especially at receiver, playing the game within the game and understanding, hey, just because of this coverage contour says I'm not getting the ball, being able to run routes and try to get a feel for, how a DB is playing you. And then when it comes time, eventually that coverage is going to dictate that you get the ball.
His relationship with his quarterback also didn't hurt in that moment.
Stafford and I have spent a ton of time together. I think it was actually adding up in the car on the way here. Just the extra time outside of the obligatory time was, north of 500 hours this season. And so you spend that much time together, just being able to talk football, talk about the preparation, the time you have focusing on that kind of stuff. You get in those moments and, it just becomes second nature.
Kupp said at his press conference Monday morning that he certainly believes his team can win it all again next year. But for now, he's focused on one very important next step.
Are you headed to Disney World next, now that you won the championship?
I think we're going to keep it in LA and head over to Disneyland.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think the cross-country trip's not happening today.
Kupp was actually at Disneyland today as well after that press conference. All last week, we talked all about Cooper, and we caught up with a few people who know him well, including his parents. His dad said that he couldn't eat the whole NFC Championship game because he was so nervous, and his mom said she broke down in tears after Cooper caught the catch that set up the Rams' game-winning field goal the game before against the Buccaneers. Needless to say, we can only imagine what the Super Bowl was like for the two of them, especially after their son caught the game-winning touchdown. We did ask them how they thought their son would react to winning a Super Bowl. They said for Cooper, it's not so much about the accolades.
It's kind of weird because in one way it's a dream come true and something you dream about as a little kid in the backyard. But I think this week Cooper's talked a lot about his enjoyment is in the process. And the weekly process of getting better and the study of it and the preparation.
If you want to watch the full interview with Cooper's parents, you can watch that right now on KREM.com. Another person cheering him on from Washington, well, actually he lives in California now, but cheering him on was former Eastern head coach Beau Baldwin. They have kept in touch over the years, and Baldwin couldn't help but wish him well before Sunday night's game.
It's almost kind of, you got to pinch yourself. I texted him the other day and I was just like, all I could say was, this ride we're on is so much fun to watch. And I just said, just appreciate you.
It's hard to describe just how incredible Cooper Kupp was at Eastern. It's truly amazing. He shattered the record books, and it's just been an awesome, awesome experience so far. Back to you guys.
Absolutely. Brennan, thank you very much. Well, you probably heard about all of his accolades, right? We've been talking about them all week long. There goes Brennan right there. But you may not know how hard he has worked to get on a college team.
Yeah, there was a point that he thought it wasn't going to happen. So we went back into the KREM 2 archives to find the story of the best kept secret in Washington college recruiting.
Game after game, season after season, Cooper Kupp hasn't just been the star of Eastern Washington's football team. He's quite possibly been the greatest FCS player of all time.
I'm not going to let anyone outwork me.
But if you've ever watched the Eagles play these past 4 years, one question remains. How is a guy like that playing at a small school like this?
They believed in me. That was huge.
Cooper Kupp was born in Yakima, Washington, the oldest of Craig and Karen's 4 children.
Had to put the football in his lap because we knew that was where he was headed.
His grandpa, Jake Kupp, is a former Husky turned Pro Bowl guard for the New Orleans Saints, while his father, Craig, was a quarterback selected in the 5th round of the 1990 draft by the New York Giants.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was, if it's in the blood or something, but I was just born with this passion for football.
Cooper had the mindset and skills to be great at any sport he played. He just didn't have the body.
You start off, everyone's at the same level, and I'm able to go out there and compete with my friends and feel good about what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden my friends start growing and they're up there slapping the backboard and I'm trying to touch the ball of the net during basketball practice.
Size, speed, strength, they all weren't coming anytime soon for the 14-year-old.
Being a late bloomer was probably one of the hardest things I've gone through in my life. The lesson I learned from that was that I was gonna have to go out and earn everything.
Work on the fundamentals, work on your skills, get your skills down as close to perfect as you can, strive for perfection, and then your body's gonna come.
The undersized dreamer took that mentality to Davis High School, where head coach Rick Clark was trying to jumpstart a struggling Pirates team.
They'd had 2 winning seasons in 40 years.
It was around this time Eastern Washington head coach Beau Baldwin remembers his first encounter with a young Cooper Kupp.
First memory probably is somewhere during summer football camp. I was out here running around, undersized, skinny. Yeah, he didn't have measurables in 9th or 10th grade. He'll be the first to say that.
While Kupp didn't look the part, Clark, who was on the coaching staff of Michigan's 1997 national championship team, knew this kid was going to be special.
Tom Brady, when I was there, we would work out from 3 to 5. He would come back at 7 and work another 3 hours every night in the field house. And that's the way Coop was. Coming back in the counter. See ya, aloha, mahalo.
Kupp came on strong as an upperclassman and dominated his junior and senior seasons. During those 2 years, he totaled 87 receptions for 1,814 yards with 23 touchdowns.
He did put up great numbers, and you would think that would grab lots of attention, but the body, it was the body and the speed were the concerns, and you still hear it today that he's deceptively fast, whatever that means.
The Kupp family did everything they could to market Cooper, and that started with Grandpa Jake's alma mater at the University of Washington.
We couldn't even get them to call us back. Just couldn't get anything from him, and that was really frustrating.
They also tried Washington State.
I had worked with Mike Leach at Cal Poly years ago and sent Coop's film, and Mike was very interested. Mike liked him a lot, but Mike had to honor the Coach Wolf's commitments.
Kupp's high school career ended with a 68-22 playoff loss to Meade. He had no college offers waiting for him at the end of that game.
And I'm walking off the field that last time thinking, I might not have a concrete opportunity to play at the next level.
Luckily for Kupp, Beau Baldwin kept tabs of that underclassman with no measurables.
started to see it with not only what he was doing on the football field, but how he competed in basketball and what he did there.
It's worth noting that Cooper was a leader on Davis's 4A state title team.
They all had shirts and they all had nicknames put on the back, and the guys put the biz on the back of his because he was all about business. He knows how to have fun, but he's, you're going to practice, you're practicing to get better, and he didn't really like that nickname, but that's what he got, which really was fitting, I think, for
It was that kind of attitude, along with a recent growth spurt, that kept the Eags interested in the best kept secret in the state.
Even though he was still under-recruited, we still felt like he was still our number one. And, and we were kind of quiet about that.
Actually, Coach Clark was the first to tell me. He said, when I was turning in my gear, he said, Eastern is probably going to offer you something. I don't know what it is.
I had a friend on the staff at Idaho State, and I recommended them to them, and they came in and offered him a full. And then that's when Eastern came in and offered him a full.
I mean, you look at it two ways. You can get frustrated and look at, yeah, he was overlooked, or you can look at what a blessing it is that he's at Eastern Washington. And that's the way we look at it.
My goodness. I'm sure a lot of coaches now are thinking back, hey, we should have recruited that guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Mike Leach might have been like, maybe we can figure out a way to get a scholarship open for you, huh?
Right. Like we said before,
right?
easy guy to root for, right? Cooper Kupp. A lot of people in the Northwest were certainly cheering for Cooper Kupp.
No doubt about that. But there was a special watch party just for Eastern, and we're going to show you those highlights and the hometown pride next.
Obviously, last night was a big night for Cooper Kupp himself, but it also was a night to remember for Eastern Washington alumni everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. The Alumni Association put together a watch party for what they called the Cooper Bowl, and although it's been years since Kupp wore an Eagle uniform, he's still bringing fans together. After losing the 2019 Super Bowl to the Patriots, Cooper Kupp saw into the future.
I don't know what it was. There's just this vision that God revealed to me that we were going to come back. We were going to be a part of a Super Bowl. We were going to win it. And somehow I was going to walk off the field as the MVP of the game.
A message from above that came true tonight. Kupp leading the Rams to a Super Bowl 56 victory over the Bengals 23-20, and the former Eastern Washington Eagle named the most valuable player after catching 8 passes for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. The final touchdown being the game-winning score with under a minute and a half left to play. Kupp was asked to reflect on his past, from having no college offers out of high school to where he is now, and he wouldn't change a thing. He believes he was meant to go to school in Cheney.
That's just part of my journey. I was supposed to go to Eastern Washington. I've met so many great friends, so many guys from my time at Eastern that were standing up there with me in my wedding. Lifelong friendships, even people, just the community in Cheney, Washington was able to make just relationships there. It was just a special place for me to be.
A place that holds Kupp near and dear to its hearts. Eastern Washington alumni held a watch party for the game at 9 Bar and Bistro in Spokane, sharing his special moment as theirs, because they're all Eagles.
It's unreal. It really is. It's unreal. It's just, again, just to see, him from where he started, came from Yakima, and then came to Eastern, and then now, again, he's playing that. It's just really cool.
We got a lot of Eagles in the area. We've got over 120,000 graduates. Most of them live in the Spokane area, and have them all come together in a 509. And Cooper Kupp bring us all together. That's awesome.
A night Kupp will never forget, but also a moment Eagles everywhere will fondly remember.
It's indescribable. It really is.
I mean, Cooper's pretty much the word of the night, but I'll also say go Eags.
So much fun. Yeah. Travis, what was it like down there last night?
It was pretty electric, I'd say. It's cool seeing a bunch of fans just coming together for this and how much they rooted for him. That they really love this guy, and obviously a lot of ties here to the Washington area.
5 years overall at Eastern, and I was there for his freshman year, and I remember his freshman year making such an impact then. So definitely well known in this area of the state and well respected. Yakima is Kupp country right now. Pretty much all of Washington is, actually. We're sitting down with his high school football coach on Cooper's drive to succeed.
Well, Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp might now be the most famous alumni out of the city of Yakima.
Yeah, and of course he caught the game-winning touchdown in the big game on Sunday, and there were cheers so loud across central Washington. Chris Daniels went to Yakima today for reactions.
The last time Cooper Kupp won a championship, he was a Pirate.
Senior this year.
At Yakima's Davis High.
This is his senior year, 2012.
Where today, Jay Dumas couldn't wipe the smile off his face.
Yeah, it was almost surreal just watching him. When you know someone personally, it gives you that much more investment in the game.
Jay was Cooper's high school football coach and one of his biggest advocates at Davis as the undersized Kupp struggled to get attention from college recruiters.
I couldn't tell them that he was going to be the best wide receiver in the world one day, but I could tell him that he was going to be good. And he was a late bloomer. You know, him and his brothers both were late bloomers. His dad was a late bloomer.
Dumas cheered him on.
He signed that for us.
As Kupp became a star at Eastern Washington University and later the LA Rams. And on Sunday, in the Super Bowl, Dumas was celebrating by the TV when Kupp caught the game-winning touchdown, earning Most Valuable Player honors.
Yesterday was one of the best days of football I've had in a long time.
Dumas says the underdog story is now motivation.
That guy wakes up in the morning wanting to work harder than everybody.
And that work ethic is also inspiration.
What's up, man?
For the students who are growing up in a place others have already nicknamed Kupp Country.
For the kids, gives them, just a sense of hope for their city.
In Yakima.
We're happy for them. We're happy for the city, and can't wait for next year.
In Yakima, Chris Daniels for KREM 2 News.
Cool stuff, right?
We just can't get enough of this story.
Especially at the high school level to point to like, hey, this kid went here,
Yes.
and now look at where he's at. And he wasn't, he wasn't a highly recruited guy,
Right.
obviously, right?
And to see that work ethic existed all those years ago, still doing it today.
For sure.
Pretty cool.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, it's been an emotional 24 hours for a lot of people.
No joke.
Well, the Super Bowl celebrations continue tonight. That wasn't the first time a local player made a name for himself in the Super Bowl, it turns out. We are sitting down with the one and only Mark Rippon, coming up next. Well, there is only one person here in the Inland Northwest who knows what the last 24 hours have been like for Cooper Kupp.
And that would be Super Bowl MVP Mark Rippon.
Yeah, guys, I had a chance to talk with Mark today about Kupp's epic effort. As a quarterback, seeing someone like Cooper that you can always throw the ball to, and he's going to go up and he's going to get it, just how much of a luxury is that?
You could see the chemistry that Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp had this year. Losing one of their best receivers, Woods, early on, and then saying, okay, well, ball's in your hand, kid. You got to take it from here. It's really pretty amazing what they're able to do, especially in this game. They didn't run the ball at all. I mean, they averaged under like 2 yards a rush. In essence, it was basically Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp that last drive, and it's incredible. I mean, you're just on your edge of your seat, and it's a Super Bowl. This isn't like, a playoff game or the first game of the season. This is a Super Bowl on the highest, arena that there is. And so it was just exciting.
As someone who's won a Super Bowl MVP, what does life look like now for Cooper?
Well, they can't take that away from him, which is good. He'll have opportunities. He probably isn't going to go on some circuit, but he'll do some things and should do some things because to be recognizable and someone that's done what he did this year, I mean, a triple crown and then winning the Super Bowl MVP, take full advantage of it while you can.
If you could say something to Cooper right now, what would you say?
I'd say congratulations, Cooper Kupp. Watch your career, watch you from when you first started at Eastern, and amazing. You just made us all proud in the 509, made all of your Screaming Eagles, Eastern Washington alumni proud, and just carried the torch real well, my friend. Congratulations.
Mark told me that he watched the Super Bowl at his brother's house. I'm going to assume that is his brother Tim's house, who is the father of Brett Rippon.
Oh, sure.
So there you go.
Also an NFL quarterback.
Also an NFL quarterback. So yeah, lots of connections there.
Right. And obviously Cooper's life is going to change now being a Super Bowl MVP and having that, like Mark said, no one can take that away from him, right? That's super cool.
No.
The secret is out about this guy now.
kidding,
Nobody can say that they had no idea what this guy could do.
And you got to imagine at places like Eastern Washington, they use that in recruiting, right? The coaches now, like Coach Aaron Best, hey, look who came through here. He worked hard and now look where he's at, right?
And remember how the football program almost got shut down?
Recently too.
Yes, within the last year. It's pretty cray to all watch come together.
No kidding. Brenda, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great night.